Welcome to our beautiful 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Come on in and take a look. So this is our wonderful pink hallway. We want to put up a lot more art in here, but that's a future years thing. Come on in, I'll show you where Puffin lives. So this is Puffin's little crate area. This is like the first thing that you see when you walk into the apartment. Puffin, do you want to go crate? So this is where he eats, sleeps, and hangs out when he's bored. And over here we have like a bunch of these hooks that hold Puffin's stuff, like his little puffer jacket. And above it is a Puffin vibed sanctuary space. There's some prints and plants. And then of course there's a beautiful painting that my friend did of Puffin when he was a puppy. And let me show you the kitchen, which is the next closest thing. So this is our kitchen space, pretty standard apartment kitchen. I guess standout is that we have this IKEA wall unit over here that just holds some of our condiments in it. And then over here we have our beloved Lelit Mara X coffee machine, and this setup is just super cute, and we make the best tea lattes in New York, in my opinion, but they're also free. So let me take you into the living room space. This is our beautiful couch, which is a mohair velvet couch by Sarah Ellison, who's an Australian designer, and we just luckily found it on Facebook Marketplace, but you can also find it at DWR. And behind me, we have a really special piece, which is this Coromandel screen. This was passed down from my grandma, who was in North Carolina, and so when we went to visit her last year, I saw it and I fell in love immediately, and she was telling me all about how they sourced it in the 70s or 80s, and they got it in San Francisco. Sadly, she passed last year, and it's just really special to have seen it in her own living room and then to now have it in my own living room. It just feels really sentimental and special to have this piece from her, which is actually acting as the main focal point of the living room and this apartment in general. Because if you look at the motif, we actually drew most of the colors from the apartment from this very piece itself, with the greens and the burgundy reds and the golds, which you see a lot over here. So yeah, this is like the main art piece of the entire apartment. Over here we have our projector. We were originally debating between getting a projector or a TV screen, but something about a TV screen sometimes feels like a dental office. So we opted to do the projector, but we didn't know where to put it. So instead of putting it up on the ceiling, we decided to put it on this pedestal that we coincidentally had in our apartment. And it just works out really nicely because when you have this beautiful ornate pedestal, you just don't really look at the projector so much. And then I also sprinkled some trinkets on top, which make it extra cute. This chair is really cool. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, again, for a really great steal. It's a cowhide lounge chair, and it's pretty low, which is great because our sofa is also really low. And I just feel like it's nice because you're able to almost have a conversation type setup over here where people can sit around the coffee table, they can sit at the couch, and there's also a chair here where it helps to break up the room and create a sectioned off living room area. This is our media wall. So over here we have a DJ mix that is currently playing from YouTube. Over here is our media console. This is actually 2 nightstands that we had in our previous apartment that we never used as nightstands anyway, but we've kind of like pieced them together, and a lot of people tell us that they would never know that these are 2 nightstands, and they just provide a lot of great storage. So we have these drawers over here where I keep my incense, and then we also have these slide out bits where we can keep other things. And on top of it, I've just sprinkled a lot of my favorite trinkets as well from different travels, like this rabbit, which is from Oaxaca, and it's blowing a trumpet. And a lot of our plants live here as well, because right above the projector wall, we have these Soltec plant lights that provide all the UV rays that they need in order to survive. Of course, everyone likes to point out these beautiful vintage speakers, which I found on Craigslist. I feel like they just add to that mid-century modern feel, and they're wired to the Alexa, so whenever we want to listen to music on the speakers, we can just ask her to play some music. So let's go take a look at the mirror area, which is the midpoint of the living room. This is the really tall mirror that we have that we found on Instagram. It's so difficult to find large mirrors out there for a good price, and we only got this for $200. $200, which is literally mind-blowing. It's also where we like to work out during the evenings because we just kind of carry our weights over and we're able to work out with this beautiful view over here. And over here we have a small collection of larger plants. This is a very newly sourced ponytail palm, which is about 7 feet tall. I just love that the plants kind of frame this mirror area, and it's just a fun place to hang out and stare at yourself. So this is the multifunctional space of our living room. It kind of doubles as our dining space, which you can see it is right now. We have this fold out dining table by Hoek, which is really cool. It flat packs to about 2 inches and we can hide it away in closets when we don't use it. That's really cool because we can host a lot of people, but then when it's kind of the work week and I want to be more creative, it's also my art studio space. And so that's why it's really nice to have the curtains. I can kind of have privacy to do my own thing, to do my work. I feel like I have a dedicated space for my things, and that's how we keep this place tidy, even though it's very open and we don't have the craziest amount of storage. This is where Puffin lounges while I do my art, while we eat our dinner. You're such a good boy. All right, cool. Shall we take a look at the bedroom? So you walk into this tiny room over here. This is the smallest room in the entire apartment. It is this beautiful dark blue room, and I love it because the dark color makes the room feel so much more expansive than it actually is. Behind me is my first Coromandel screen. I was just immediately captivated by how beautiful the motif is. I love the silver clouds and how graphic they are. And then the birds, they just kind of look like they're flying in our dreams. And then this is our queen size bed, which is, as you can see, the biggest size that we could fit in here with some really beautiful quince bedding on it. And then to either side, we have these really nice nightstands that my boyfriend and I actually made in a woodworking class at FIT, which was really, really cool because it's really fun to be able to have pieces in the apartment that we actually made ourselves. Over here, we have some artwork on the wall on either side. You see there's a big one, there's a small one. We just have the really beautiful Herman Miller Nelson saucer lamp, which is a dream come true for us. Also, I forgot to mention, we also have a skylight right above us. So it's nice because when we wake up in the morning, there is actually some light streaming on our face, but at nighttime, it's pitch black in here. This piece is the one that everyone always asks about, and it is this beautiful mid-century modern Danish teak wall unit. And this was a really special find that we got on Facebook Marketplace for a really good price, and forever grateful that we found it because it's so cool. It has this magazine rack over here, and I just think it's really awesome to be able to display our favorite books in this manner. I also have my favorite trinkets here, which is really fun. Down below is something also really cool, which is it has storage, but instead of having flip out doors, it has tamper doors, which just means that it's able to slide in and out, and it's just a really great space saving solution. And this piece is super special, and I'm pretty sure this is one that we'll take with us no matter where we live for the rest of our life. Welcome to the office. This is the green room because of course it's green from ceiling to floor. And over here we have our closet spaces. So this is Omer's closet over here, and this is mine. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek so we can take a look at what's inside. So over here we have our workout area, and then of course I just keep my clothes up above. Over here you'll see the door that kind of leads into the bathroom. Won't really be showing you the bathroom today because it's not very inspiring, but just know that we do have a bathroom that's connected to the office and the bedroom. This is Omer's setup over here. He of course has like the really beautiful large ultra wide screen and his mechanical keyboard, which sounds so satisfying all the time. He also keeps his keys down here where he plays the piano, and I just love watching him do his creative process. And I will show you my desk, but it's not quite as satisfying and clean. This is my desk over here. I have the corner area, don't have the window view, but of course you can see that I like to use this space to kind of hold my inspiration. I have a lot of my artworks on the wall. We have our Rode microphone for when we're recording voiceovers for videos. I have my art cart over here, which has something really silly right now. There's a caricature from my friend's wedding of me and my friend. This is the coffee table that can be hung up on a wall. We normally take it off from the wall and then put it in the geodesic dome upstairs. So I really like that it's multifunctional, and it also just looks like a really cool art piece on the wall as well. This is my beloved tall boy, which if you saw my last apartment video, you'll recognize it because it was also in the bedroom. So this piece carries a lot of our clothing that we don't want to have hung. This is Puffin's pee pads, not very glamorous, but we also have Puffin's restroom in the office because this is a New York apartment and my dog needs a restroom sometimes. And so this is where he goes pee and poo, and we clean it up pretty much as soon as he uses it. If you close the door, behind here, we also have these 3 hooks actually, where we keep our bags. And this is really cute because it's his and hers. It's both of our bags for work, and it just hides really nicely behind the door. Welcome to the rooftop. Let's go on up together. Welcome to the rooftop. We're bringing you up around sunset time, which is the best time of day to be here. And as you can see, we have this really lovely rooftop that is about 600 square feet. Here we have a very large dining table set up. This is great because we love to host for barbecues and rooftop parties. So this has come in really clutch. We also like to just come up here and eat breakfast together. And then, of course, you'll see the luscious green plants everywhere. So this has been kind of like a work in progress ever since, I want to say, April time. And I want to come out with an urban rooftop gardening video, me setting this space up, but that's going to come out at some point once I figure it out. But I thought, let's take a walk around the garden together and I'll show you what's been happening. Over here on this side, we have this very young nectarine tree, but I want to say when we got it, it was about this tall. So it's already grown about 12 inches. I have to shout out the Vago garden planters. So they were really kind and they sent us this really long 2 by 8 foot planter. And that was after we had already bought these ones and we had already created this really cool area. You can see that is absolutely thriving because look how many chilies we have. I did harvest some the other day, but we do have some red ones in here. And you can see how many chilies we have, little green ones just blossoming everywhere. And right next to it, its neighbor is a very healthy cherry tomato plant. You can see it's got lots of tomatoes on the vine that are still trying to ripen up. Over here, we have some citronella, which is great for keeping mosquitoes at bay. We have 2 very exciting strawberries over here. This is honestly the part of the garden that is my personal dream come true because I've always wanted to have an arch in my garden. I just randomly found this arch on, I think like gardeners.com, and I was like, okay, please, I hope that the arch fits inside, and magically it did, and it was a very close fit, let me tell you. So we have some wisteria growing over here. We have some clematis, our beautiful cherry blossom tree. This is very healthy, very much thriving, and again during the spring it's full of beautiful blossoms. It's honestly the most stunning thing ever. And then let me take you to the star of the show, which everyone seems to love, which is the geodesic dome. So let's go on in. All right, y'all, welcome to the geodesic dome. This is something that we saw on the listing for this place and fell in love with. And it's just really cool to have this geometric kind of space agey type outdoor space, which is very unique. Definitely want to decorate it more in the future, but for now, this is what we got. Also, Puffin just absolutely loves being in the dome. He loves sunbathing in here, and it's so sweet to have him have a little hangout spot in an outdoor space. This is our wonderful 2-person sauna, and you can kind of just sit over here, close the door, and yeah. During the winter time, this is like totally an essential. Just kind of put some water here. It's a dry wet sauna, so you really do get the best of both worlds. And it's so steamy in here right now, so I will be stepping out, but this is also something that I can't take credit for. This came with the space, and I'm really so blessed to have this, especially during the winter time when it's all snowy up here. And yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the full apartment tour. Thank you so much for coming along. We're definitely going to be wanting to add more into the space as we go, but this is all the work that we've done over the course of about 6 months, and we're really proud of ourselves. So I will see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Bye.